Alright, Travis Wingoodsell. Countdown till Christmas bombs from Kim Jong-un. Alright, you've heard of a letter to a CES director. You've heard of a letter to the IRS. Now hear the letter to the 70. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has the Quorum of 70, the General 70 specifically, with the presidency of the 70. Back in, it's dated 28 December 2018, I had become aware of certain signs in the heavens that were corresponding to events on Earth. And I thought, this is strange. Interesting timing too, as I just been released from my captivity that the church put me in. And so I thought I'd put in a little letter to them, letting them know of what I was concerned about. The Wikipedia page about the 70 at this time only talked about the 70 as an organization, did not indicate one way or the other their ability to take over the church in the absence of the apostles in the first presidency. After my letter was sent to them, a couple months later, I noticed, Wikipedia now has this hypothetical scenario in which the 70 could take over. And then the other month, I then checked it again, and it's no longer a hypothetical. It's now official doctrine or official administrative policy that if the first presidency and the Quorum of the 12 are not able to run the church, the 70 would take over. So I'm responsible for that. Me, all me, because of this letter. And I put pictures in here just in case they cannot read the writing that comes from my fingertips to the typewriter. So it's not the words that are coming out of my mouth, if you understand where the source origin of that joke is. And so this is a chart of the connections that I saw with, you're not going to be able to read it, most likely, but these are all the connections that I saw with signs in the heavens and events on earth related to the church. Just the church. There's government connections also. And so, we have all the way back to the 2002 Winter Olympics. James E. Faust's death, Gordon B. Hinckley's death, L. Tom Perry's death, Boyd K. Packer's death, Richard D. Scott's death. I see a pattern here. Family Discovery Day and flooding in Elko, Nevada. Thomas S. Monson's birthday. Relief Society General Conference with the new primary president being the Relief Society president. Fifth dark day of Hanukkah. That's not Mormon, that's Jewish, but it has to do with John in Revelations, one of his signs. And then the death of Monson. And then so then I lead into the first picture with the final question mark with the next upcoming sign in the heaven. And you'd think, that means somebody's going to die, right, Travis? No. No. Maybe, but no, not necessarily. See, the total solar eclipse, remember that? It was a sign of the collapse of government. And yes, it could be from the death of the king. Doesn't have to be. It could be a takeover, like Babylon taking over Jerusalem and putting in Zedekiah as their puppet king. What happened in America? Exactly, but we're not talking about the government part of the signs. We're talking about the religious part. And so I even say that here. I'm talking specifically about the church signs. Let's see. I come to you rather than the apostles in the first presidency, because I'm making a prediction right here about the church's collapse. That's right. How's the church going to collapse, Travis? Oh, it's not going to collapse. The church will reign on earth forever and ever, as the priesthood will never be taken from the earth, blah, 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 blah. Mormons. Are you unaware of the letter to the IRS, or even the CES letter? The church has been able to combat the CES letter as they've excommunicated Jeremy, whatever his last name is. Russell Lessons. Sorry. But the IRS one, this is the latest one that the church is hoping that they can have pass them by unscathed. And it's not going to be that effective because I'm not going to let it. I'm also suing. Turns out that I end up being the fulfillment of this. Who knew? And so I put in the section 107, 21 and 22 about how Brigham Young did not follow proper protocols for succession in the church. He was wrong in his interpretation. He was a part of the missionary department. He had no keys to lead the church, only to preach the gospel. That's what it was in 124. The keys of the kingdom to preach the gospel to all the world. Mormons have to quit putting periods where there are no periods. He did that with R-rated movies too, by the way. Benson's Talk in April 1986. You can watch R-rated movies, Mormons. I give you permission.
Yeah, you're not the president. We're not listening to you.
Yeah, Mormons. Joseph, let's see. Yeah, so I put in there that it's supposed to be a Melchizedek priesthood vote. But then I put in that because of the manner in which Brigham Young set it up, the 70 would then be successors in the absence of the first presidency and the Quorum of the 12, which is why the 70 then changed it on the Wikipedia page. Me, because of me. All because I was letting them know that things were happening, and sure enough, they did. And so you're thinking, well, it didn't happen in January like you said it was, Travis. Did the government collapse on the 21st of August 2017? Some would say yes, it happened back in the election. Some would say it happened back in 2000's election. But you're missing the point of signs. They're not the actual event. Signs are signs. And they're always separate than the actual event itself. And so now we're witnessing the impeachment of Trump and Trump's continued fight to stay in power as the monarch. Remember, Mormons, not supposed to have a king on the throne of America? From the Book of Mormon. You read and ponder and pray it. And you go around telling everybody it's the most correct book on the face of the earth. And yet, you're clueless about what's going on. About how to make the connections with what's going on to the Book of Mormon. God. Mormons. See, I was born and raised Mormon almost 50 years now. I know everything about you. And so, yes, you piss me off. And so, yeah, that's the letter to the CES, included with a picture and a chart. and changing the Wikipedia page a couple of times since then. And they were warned, and now it's happening because the church can't survive this. They're, the IRS guy, he's only getting them in trouble for not following the Articles of Incorporation, which is serious, but there's more to it, to add to it. That's where I come in with my lawsuit. And I'm expecting today the judge to sign off on having the Marshal Service deliver the lawsuit to the defense, the church, to their lawyers right across the street. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I don't have to call, but we'll see, because we need to get this ball rolling. We got a world to save.